If you want to actually grow your SaaS business, one of the most powerful tools that you have at your disposal is your financial model. Now, don't get me wrong. No one really gets excited about staring at a complicated spreadsheet, a financial model at that, and looking at all those numbers. But when I started to work with a really great CFO, when I started to really see what they do and how they do it and what a really great financial model looks like, it completely changed the game for me. And the way I approached strategic planning, the way I approached driving growth, the way I thought about trade-offs around how to spend our money, it just completely changed the trajectory of our SaaS business. So in this episode, I'm going to actually walk you through the 3 principles that I learned when creating a really great financial model. Intro. What's up, everybody? Welcome to Unstoppable. I'm TK, and on this channel, I help SaaS founders like you grow your SaaS businesses faster with an unstoppable strategy. If you are new to this channel, welcome. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and that bell icon. I drop an episode 3 times a week at actionable strategies on how to grow your SaaS business. So when you hit that subscribe button and that bell icon, you'll get notified every single time I drop an episode with TK energy. Now, if you're already part of our community, our really fast-growing community at this point, if you're part of my SaaS go-to-market coaching program, welcome back. Seriously awesome to see you over here. Okay, so I have ADHD. I recently found this out actually, but I'm highly functioning because I didn't know about it and I thought that was kind of weird, and so I created all these systems in my life to compensate for it, and it actually became a superpower. That's for another episode. But the idea of staring at a financial model and all those numbers and in that spreadsheet with the multiple tabs and everything's connected and there's like the blue text, it just horrified me. I hated it. And also in the early stages, to be honest, the idea of a financial model also felt a little disingenuous. I'm like, how can we possibly predict what we're gonna do 3 years out? It's so early. We don't even know if we have product market fit yet, or we don't even know if this is really going to scale and the TAM is going to hold up. You just don't know. And I just hated it. But then I started working with a great CFO. And when I started to see what a really great financial model looks like, and when I started to actually bring in a biz ops person, I've talked about Leo before, and he really took control of that model and really made it operational. When I really started to see the power in it, and how it became so powerful in giving me insight into the business and the different levers I have and the decisions I could make and how we could drive strategic growth. When I started to see that, everything changed. And there's a million YouTube videos on how to create a financial model that like opens up a spreadsheet and kind of walks you through it. This is not that kind of video. I want you to zoom out, and I'm going to teach you the 3 principles that you need to know around building a sound financial model and how that's going to feed into helping you actually build a strategic plan for growth in 2021 and beyond. So if you're excited to dig into the 3 principles, go ahead and smash that like button and let's actually dig into this. Okay, so principle number 1, when you're building out your financial model, like when you get into the weeds of a financial model, it can be overwhelming and you can kind of lose the actual reasons for this. And these 3 principles are going to explain what actually matters, what really matters in a financial model, so that you can use it to create your strategic plan. So principle number 1 is to think about your fixed costs. This is the most important part and probably the easiest part about your financial model. The reason fixed costs are important is they're the most effective way for you to manage your burn and your runway. Now, fixed costs are the things you spend the same amount every month, no matter what. These are the people that you have in the business, right? And unless you actively hire 1 million people, it's going to be a fixed cost. You know exactly how much you're going to pay them. They're your facilities, the office that you get. They're also, what is this word that I put in? I can't even read it anymore. Oh, contracts. They're the software that you buy, the software you commit to paying for. There are other contracts that you say like, yep, we will pay for this. These are all of your fixed costs. And this is the first thing to really get alignment on. I'll be honest, once we really focus on the fixed cost section, we just put it all down. We knew how much we raised. We knew how much money we had in the bank. We knew how many people we had, how many people we planned on hiring. There were some variables there, but over the next few quarters, it was like, boom, here's your fixed costs. And I'm like, okay, got it. So if we don't earn any money based on the money we raise, here's when we run out of cash. And this is like what it takes to run this operation. Got it. It's cathartic. It's super powerful because it kind of establishes a baseline. It also stress tests you on whether you're taking on too much. Should you get that office? Should you get rid of an office? And now is a weird time. No one needs offices, right? Do you need that 1-year contract to pay for that expensive Salesforce installation? Or would a monthly thing with HubSpot be just fine? These are some real things. Do you really need to make that additional hire? Do you need to keep all the people? These are some things that you can actually think about. They'll help you start to think about how to manage for burn and actually manage your runway. What is your cash out date, for example? That's an important thing also. So all of these things become 10 times easier. Instead of you worrying about it, it's just there in black and white, sometimes in blue, depending on how your spreadsheet set up. So fixed costs, getting that nailed is your first one. Now, you can go download a template, you can go hire a CFO. And we're actually my favorite CFO in the Valley, we're gonna have him on the channel later on. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and the bell icon so that you get notified when we drop that episode. But you want to make sure that you nail your fixed costs. That's the first thing you really want to do. Even if it's in a simple spreadsheet or using a template or you're working with a sophisticated financial model with a CFO. Once you do that, the second principle is to figure out your variable costs. Your variable costs include hosting, right? So if you're a B2B SaaS product, which likely you are if you're watching this channel and watching this video, then how much are you going to be spending on hosting? This is going to change over time as you bring on more customers, right? What is your cost of goods? Sometimes support is under cost of goods, right? Because they're working to provide this service and they have to support it. So how many support people are you going to have? Like map that out. So these are things that as you bring on more customers, your costs are going to increase. Now, great SaaS businesses, B2B SaaS businesses are like 90% margins. So your variable costs, at least to support the product, should not be that great. However, great SaaS businesses have really expensive, this is one thing that's always expensive. It just is sales and marketing. And sales and marketing, how much you spend to acquire a customer, to sell a customer, is under your variable costs. And this is where the magic really happens. Now, let me just pause here for a second. If you're starting to see how getting your fixed costs all laid out, your variable costs all mapped out, and starting to form an idea on, all right, here's how much we think that we're going to spend with each additional customer. Here's how we're going to land those customers. If you're starting to see the power in laying this out, can I just get a yes in the comments below? Because this is half the battle. Because I think like we tend to get intimidated with the financial model and all these numbers. But if you just embrace on these two principles, like what are my fixed costs, what are my variable costs, like as I add more customers, then you start to get a handle on the business. You start to understand, all right, these are the different levers that exist. And if you start to see the power in this, be sure to also smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm. It also just means a lot to me and my team. Why am I talking about financial models right now? The reason I'm talking about it is likely you're thinking about how to create your strategic plan for 2021. 2021, you need your strategic plan. Your strategic plan is going to include how much you're going to grow, what your revenue target's going to be, where do you spend more money, do you need to fundraise, all these things. And they're going to turn into real objectives for your team. You're going to align your leadership team. If you're super early, it's going to be you and your co-founder. You still need a strategic plan. And a financial model is super important when you're building a strategic plan. Because here's the thing. You can get together and say, we're going to do all these things. And everyone's going to be like, rah, rah, yes, we're so pumped. We're going to take over the world. Unless you have a financial plan to stress test your strategic plan, they go hand in hand. And a financial plan validates whether your strategic plan is for real or not, whether you have the money for it or not, whether the numbers make sense or not. Let's just say we're going to do $10 million of bookings this year. Well, if you want to do $10 million of bookings, then you need at least a 3 to 4x pipeline coverage. If you want a 3 to 4x pipeline coverage, that means you need to have $50 million, like $40 million of pipeline. You want to generate $40 million worth of pipeline, and your average deal size is $100K. That's a whole lot of deals. And if each new lead costs a certain amount, then that's a whole lot of leads you have to generate and a lot of money you need to generate those leads. Are you starting to get this? You're starting to get how a financial model will stress test your strategic plan. So anyway, this doesn't have to be complicated. I've already made the first two principles simple for you. But if you want to create a strategic plan, I'm actually hosting a strategic planning workshop. Inside of it, I'll guide you through it step by step. I'll actually be bringing in my favorite part-time CFO to actually give you advice on how to marry a strategic plan to your financial plan. I'll also be teaching you how to take your strategic plan and mobilize it with OKRs. It's going to be step by step. It's going to be awesome. If you want to join, you can go to tkkader.com/workshop. I'll give you more details about it at the end. Let's go to principle number 3. Also smash that like button if you haven't already. It just means the world to us. We like hearing from you. Principle number 3 is your go-to-market spend. This is where you're going to spend the most time in your financial model. And it's also going to be the most time you're going to spend in your strategic planning, honestly. Your go-to-market spend, there's a real math to this, and the financial model really highlights it. Now, there are a few things that go into this. So there's 3 big buckets. There's a lead or a user that you get, right? And there's a cost to that. How many leads and users are you getting, and what is the cost of that? That goes into your financial plan. Then there's how do you actually convert them from a lead or a user to an actual paying customer? Now, if you are a self-service business, then you have a product funnel, a product-like growth funnel, but there's still some cost to that. If you are an inside sales or enterprise sales driven business, then you have actual salespeople and there's commission involved. Now from there, then you actually convert them to revenue. But then this revenue may come on a monthly basis, but you spent a bunch of money up front to do these 2 things. And so now it takes a while for you to earn back that money, and that may delay how much money you have in the bank. Are you starting to see this? There's some nuances in this, and there's some pitfalls in this. I remember one time, ToutUp's bank account went completely empty. This was super early, and it's almost embarrassing to admit this. It was super empty, and I had to call some of my investors. I'm like, we're out of money, even though we're not out of money. And they're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, well, we closed a whole bunch of deals, and they're on a 30-day thing. They're gonna pay us, and the check's in the mail, so there's a DSO. And so the money's on its way, but we don't have any money to make payroll, so we need money. And they're like, what? And I'm like, I'm sorry. This is when we had the not so great CFO. I'm like, I'm sorry, I don't know what to tell you. And they were like, okay, but are you sure? I'm like, yeah, I could send you the contracts. So there's nuances to this. And when you have a sound financial model, it helps you actually track all of this and understand this. But here's where it really ties together between the financial model and the strategic plan. Let's just take a look at this for a second. And go back to the math we talked about. Let's just say you want to close $1 million of business, and only 20% of leads that sign up converts to revenue. So that means that you got to actually generate way more leads, and out of that, 20% of them will actually convert to real revenue. And if there's a certain cost to these leads, you can start to understand, in order to hit my revenue target, I actually need to spend a certain amount of money on generating leads, way more leads than they're actually going to close. And hopefully by the time I pay the commission, and by the way, there's a variable there, the number of salespeople I have, and there's a ramp time on these salespeople, I'll actually be able to make that money. Are you starting to see where your strategic plan needs to marry your financial model? And when you have a financial model, you can actually answer some of these complicated questions. That's the power of it. So these are the 3 most important principles to address when you're creating your financial model. What I didn't want to do was another video where I walk you through a template. There's plenty of that on YouTube. That's not what this is about. But when you do that, you kind of get lost in the weeds and forget the forest. I wanted to show you the forest. For your financial model, number 1, get your fixed costs under control and actually fleshed out. Just make sure, are you committing to too much? Do you really need that extra headcount? Do you need all the people you have? Are you better off extending runway so you can spend more money on marketing, right? That's one thing. And the second is figure out your variable costs. As you add more customers, how do those costs go up? How do you manage that? And most importantly, number 3, figure out your go-to-market spend and how it aligns to your strategic growth ambitions. You may have tremendous ambitions, but you may not have enough runway. This also, when you have the sound financial model, will also inform how much you need to raise on your next fundraise. If you want to grow a certain amount, here's how much money you need to raise. And you can actually talk about that with conviction versus just saying, well, we want to raise 20-ish. You'll be able to back it up and your conviction level will go up, and that's super powerful. So those are my 3 principles. Number 1, fixed cost first. Number 2, variable cost. Number 3, GTM spend. Now, if you are building out a financial model, likely what is also happening is you're trying to figure out your strategic plan. How are you going to grow? What are the big levers? What are some choke points and flywheels in your business? How do you actually establish OKR so that everyone's aligned and actually execute on your strategic plan? How do you make sure you actually dominate in the next 12 months? This is why I'm running a strategic planning workshop. The strategic planning workshop, I'll guide you step by step on creating your strategic plan for growth for 2021 and beyond. So if you're interested in that and you want to work with us, you want to join us and create a strategic plan with you and your leadership team, you're all invited. It's a small fee to join. Get details. We do have early bird pricing right now, so go to tkkader.com/workshop. We'll give you all of the details. If you got value from this video, be sure to smash that like button. If you got value from this video, be sure to smash that like button for the YouTube algorithm and for us. We just love hearing from you. Comment below with a yes. We want to hear from you. It just means the world to us. It makes my day when I hear from you guys. If you have a friend, fellow founder, fellow leadership team member, please share this video with them. And remember, everyone needs a strategy for their life and their business, but when you are with us, yours is going to be unstoppable. I'm TK, and I'll see you in the next episode.